Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Good morning, good people of internet land world.
Morning interweb now.
It's just gone 10 a.m. on, it's Friday, isn't it?
Oh, happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. It's the 3rd of September, and we're out doing a few errands. We've just been to the post office and dropped off some website orders. We're now going up to our local DIY store to get some paint colours samples. You know, the little booklets with all the paint colours in, because we're planning or starting to plan for decorating our lounge, our withdrawing room, the sitting room, yes, or whatever you want to call it, because we said we'd do it when it started to get towards the end of the year, and it started to get towards the end of the year, so we're going to start to do it.
Plus, we're going to go to Marks and Spencer because Karen's coming for lunch tomorrow. It's her birthday next week. So
do you want to explain what Marks and Spencer's is?
It's just fabulous.
Marks and Spencer's is the food hall is a slightly more expensive than ordinary supermarkets. Yeah, it was supposed to be.
There's some lovely stuff in there.
Yeah. So Ian's friend Karen and hubby Steve, who we went to Whitby with, are coming over for lunch tomorrow. So we're going to go get a few bits and pieces, a little bit of a buffet party lunch because it's Karen's birthday coming up. Yes. So we want to make it a little bit special for her.
She's 27 again.
So that's where we're heading today. Oh, and we forgot to mention, Mr. Bentley is in the back. We haven't left him. He has come with us, for those that are wondering. The silent assassin. Hello. He just snuck in without me seeing him. Anyway, it's Friday afternoon. We got back from doing all our errands and shopping and that kind of stuff. Had lunch and then I got to work on the mission inspiration brief for Saturday, tomorrow. I haven't done my page yet, and it's already 22 minutes past 5 in the afternoon. Looks like I'm going to be working late tonight. Instead, what I've been doing is I've just created some new stencil designs, not for me, for somebody else, for another company, which is what I do. Stencil designs for other people as well as myself. Anyway, so I've done those because, you know, that's day job stuff, that's paid work. And then I've just set to work creating the digi-download sheet for the new 3.5-inch artist trading cards. There, okay. So while I was doing that, it popped into my head that you have the traditional, so they're 3.5, there you go, that's better, 3.5 ATC backs, artist trading card backs. Put my teeth in. So 3.5 by 3.5, which is what we discussed or what I talked about the other day. That is your traditional sized ATC back, which is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches deep. But that's portrait, isn't it? What happens if you want to do an ATC that way? Shouldn't you really have an ATC back in landscape, which is 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches? Makes sense, doesn't it? So I've done one. So 3.5 by 2.5. So you can now do landscape ones as well. Obviously, the 3.5 by 3.5, it doesn't make any difference which way around you go because it's the same size. So I've done those. So I've done traditional ones, 2.5 by 3.5, sheets of 9, because that allows for spacing for 9. The landscape ones, which are 3.5 by 2.5, which are new, space only allows for 8. And I've also done this so that it fits both metric A4 and imperial 8.5 by 11. So regardless of where you live, this DigiDownload will print perfectly on both sizes. No issues there. So you get 8 of those. Obviously the ATCs for the 3.5 by 3.5, because of the size, you only get 6 on a page. But I also thought I'd throw in some of the artist trading coins as well. And I've done those. They're 8 to a page. This page is different because I've made sure you've got enough space in between to punch without having to fiddle around. Now the last one that I did, the spacing wasn't quite so wide because I think I did 3x3. I think you got 9 on that page. This one I've spaced out a bit more, and you can punch out using a 2.5-inch circle punch. This is a new one because our EK Success one finally gave up, actually our third EK Success one finally gave up the ghost. And I can't find another one, so Ian found this one from this make. Vasen Creative, or Vasen Creative. Not really sure where they're based. Sounds a bit German, if you ask me. Anyway, so I've made sure that you can fit quite nicely the punch around for the circles, and they fit, like I said, on the 2.5-inch circle punch perfectly. Now that's a 2.5-inch circle, that's a 2.5-inch circle. Obviously it will fit quite nicely for the back for whatever project you may be doing. Yes. So, and what I've also done is I've made them available as one big collection. So all 4 of the artist trading cards are now available in one DigiDownload. Obviously, they've got 2 new sizes, the 3.5 by 3.5 and the 3.5 by 2.5, the landscape version. They'll only be available in this new set, but obviously you're going to get that new spaced circle set out, and you're also going to get the new style, because I've recreated these as well, and you get 9 on a page on those. So those that asked, you have received. So they're now available to purchase on the website.
Well, what can I say, Mike?
Don't know.
Karen and Steve have come across for lunch and they brought Mike a present.
Yes.
But
I'm scared.
It's wrapped up like a corpse. It's not moving, so it's not a small child. Come on then.
He's got funny feet.
He's got all funny in his legs, he says, trying to...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm in the light.
Oh, it's mummified. It's mummified.
Daddies are available.
Whatever it is, it's mummified.
I think you ought to open it all up.
I think.
I don't think sliding anything out of there is an option, is it?
I feel like an archaeologist. Bloody hell, that's heavy. Pardon my language, sorry. This is weird. It feels bizarre.
Well, Bentley's having a look.
Oh, hang on. It feels like a wire there, so I better not snip that. What it is.
You need to get under the... Bentley's nudging.
Sorry, I just saw a foot.
Oh my
Here we
God.
Here we go.
I think you need to undo the head, Mike. There's tape around the head.
You are joking me.
Mike, come on, the dog's going to eat it. And the lunch is in the oven.
No, I've spotted something.
You'd make a rubbish archaeologist.
Shush, you've got to do it gently.
Tutankhamun.
Any archaeologist will tell you it's slow and steady wins the race.
Generally with a little brush, not very scissors.
That's true, yeah.
Hey, no, you can't open mummified remains with a paintbrush.
Oh, it's looking even more scary. That looks like something. Do you think there's been a murder?
No, but it's what's stuffed in its rib
Bentley,
cage.
shush.
Ian, it's what's stuffed in its rib cage.
That's what it's died of, obviously. It's been drinking. He's lost a bit of weight, hasn't he? Oh, that is cool. You're going to lift him up.
Hang on.
And what we got in there?
Dead man's fingers.
Brilliant.
Look. That's obviously the bottle cover.
No children have been harmed in the making of this video.
Honest.
It's got something stuck on his feet, Mike.
Yeah, that's the
That's his cloak, is it? Well, let's have a look at you both together.
You brought me
Look at this, separated at birth. Not. I'll get you, Penelope Pet Stop. I'll get you.
By the way, dead man's fingers. It's rum.
It's rum, yes. It's not actually dead man's fingers in a
Bottle
jar.
of rum.
Ooh. Well, lunchtime.
Yes, lunchtime. Good morning. It's Monday. It's just gone 10 a.m. So got up around about 8 this morning. Showered, dressed. First cup of coffee of the day. I'm now on coffee number 2. I've gone through all my emails, printed out my website orders that need processing today, and I've got a couple of day job design things that have come in that I need to do as well this morning before I can do anything else. So yeah, it's going to be a busy kind of Monday. Yesterday was one of those days where everything just went by in a blur. We were so busy yesterday, we never really stopped. After Ian took Mr. B out for his WALK yesterday morning, we kind of jumped into the car and went over to one of the garden centres, the garden centre at Ackworth, which is near Pontefract, because we wanted to get some plants for the hanging baskets. So the summer baskets have now finished. All the plants that were in there have all died off. They've all gone. They're all done, spent. So we want to put some evergreen stuff in the hanging baskets. So we purchased some heucheras, the plum pudding kind. Nice deep purple leaves, which will last throughout autumn and well into winter. Probably over winter as well, because they are kind of hardy. And we've also got some ivy plants to put around the outside for that trailing kind of interest. So we bought those, and then when we got back, Ian set to cutting the grass. I was going to plant up the hanging baskets, but we suddenly realised that we'd thrown away the liners for the baskets because the roots had all grown into the coir matting. So I couldn't plant up the baskets yesterday afternoon, which was a bit of a disappointment, but hey ho. And then kind of like the rest of the day, just disappeared into a blur. I came upstairs after we'd had some lunch and sat down because I needed to plan for the coming months ahead. So I've sat down and I've planned out the entire 7 days of my 7 days of Halloween. I know exactly what projects I'm doing on what day. I also sat and created the 2 mission inspiration prompt sheets, the main art challenges for October, because I always do 2 versions in October, one Halloween themed and one non-Halloween themed for those people that don't like to do the Halloween thing. So I did 2 versions of those, so I now know exactly where I'm going, what I need to do and how much work I've got to do in the build up to Halloween, or by 7 days of Halloween, which always goes live the first Saturday, with Mission Inspiration being the first project in the 7 days of Halloween. So I've also sat and created, which is always my favourite bit, I've sat and created the animated intros with all the Halloween music and the flying bats and all that kind of stuff. So I always enjoy doing that. So I've done that, or I did that yesterday afternoon as well. And by the time I'd finished doing that and finished doing all the other bits and pieces that I was supposed to do, excuse me, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and time to knock off and time to think about eating again and putting your feet up and relaxing, which is what people normally do on a Sunday, isn't it? All this beeping noises. It's all very noisy. So it's now 4:50 on Monday afternoon. Do you remember earlier when I said about it being really busy? Well, it just got busier. I've just had a phone call from Mum to say that Dad's had a mini stroke, a TIA, I think they call them. It's not the first time he's had one. He had a couple a few years ago and then had a bigger one, but obviously recovered fully from that. So but this is a little one. So he's dazed, he's confused, he's kind of lost a little bit of sight in one of his eyes. Can't remember simple things, but he hasn't lost the use of an arm or anything like that, or he's not, you know, his muscles haven't gone in his face or anything. It's just a mild one. So they've called the doctor. The doctors immediately said, no, you need to go to hospital. So Mum called me as they were waiting for the ambulance to arrive. So of course I'm going down to sit with Mum because she's going with him. Rather than trying to sit at home on her own, she's gone with him to keep him company. So I'll go down and keep Mum company while Dad's having his tests, because they'll want to do an MRI and ECG and whatever else they do, blood tests or whatever, blood pressure tests and that kind of stuff on him. So I'll let you know what happens later, and I apologise for the bumpiness. So it's Tuesday morning, not really sure what time, it's just gone 9:30. Dad had a comfortable night in the hospital last night, but Mum's with us, so we're just going shopping, keep her mind off it. So she's just coming now. Me bag. You in, leggy in. There you go. Seatbelt on, doors to manual, ignition, lift off. Taxi to runway. And we're off.
No?
Is that enough?
Mustard them. Come on, it's only a little bit down the side. You know, you still left a bit. You don't want it.
Boots. Let's feel good.
Shake right. Yes, I know. I need my seatbelt on. You don't have to tell me twice. Right, aircon on. On low. Seatbelt, spectacles, wallet, watch, yes. So it's Wednesday, 8th of September. So I spoke to the occupational therapist and the specialist at the hospital this morning regarding Dad. They've had the results back of his MRI and he has definitely had a stroke. He's going in for what sounded like a carotidotomy. That's what it sounded like anyway, but it's an ultrasound on his carotid artery, which is the main artery from the heart to the brain. And the reason they're doing the ultrasound is to see whether or not there's any cholesterol or blockages that may dislodge and then go up to his brain and cause another more severe stroke. He in himself physically is fine. There's no damage, there's no loss of motor ability in arms or legs or whatever. The loss of eyesight in his right eye fluctuates. It clears and then it clouds again, and it clears and it clouds again. But the biggest problem is still dazed and confused. He's not really sure. Well, he knows who everybody is, he knows where he is, he knows what's happening, but it's just little things. Like, he'd written a list out of things that he wanted bringing from the house to the hospital, things like spare underwear and a razor, and deodorant and soap and that kind of things, because, you know, everybody likes using their own rather than what the hospital gives you. But going through the list, he must have read the list, and then he went back again and read the same items a couple of times, and then read it again, and then told me he needed underwear at least 3 times, toothpaste twice. So he kept losing himself on the list. So obviously he's not quite right there, but everything else, you know, he's walking okay, he knows he needs to go, he knows the usual kind of stuff, like he's not forgotten how to wash or anything like that, he's not forgotten how to use his mobile, he still knows how to text. There's just, excuse the bumping, it's this horrible phone thing. Yeah, so it just kind of loses track of what he's kind of doing, which currently, you know, obviously it's not too much of a problem, but it's not the sort of thing that you want to happen when, say for example, they're cooking or he's cooking, you know, or anything like that. So at the moment, like I said, he's still in the hospital, they've still got this ultrasound scan to do on his carotid artery this afternoon. I was scheduled to go and visit between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, but they want to do the ultrasound at 3:20, which means obviously that I can't go and visit if he's having the ultrasound done. So we've put my visit back until 4. Sorry about that. This new phone holder in my car is awful. It doesn't really hold anything. It's as wobbly as anything. It's not as good as the old one, so I'll have to see if I can try and find another version of the older one that I liked. So anyway, that's kind of the update for Dad. I've been over with Mum to the house in Penistone this morning, obviously to deal with post and that kind of stuff, and to pick up some clean clothes and some toiletries and all that kind of stuff, all the stuff on the shopping list that Dad wanted. So I've got all that from the house, plus a few creature comforts. and like I said, just check over the mail and things. Mum had had a delivery of some plants, so we had to deal with those. So we had to spend a little bit of time in their greenhouse this morning, but hey ho. So yes, that's my Wednesday. So I'm just nipping down to the shops now because Dad wanted a bar of soap and I don't have any spares, and neither did Mum. So I'm just going to go grab him one and also do a wee bit of shopping while I'm in there. So it's 5:10 and I've just left the hospital after seeing Dad. My little visit with him. He's in very good spirits. He's obviously very bored. They're only allowed one visitor because the hospitals are still under COVID quarantine and stuff. So they're still operating as though nothing's changed, which is, you know, which is good really, because they're still dealing with patients. But anyway, so Dad really drew the short straw really with only getting me for a visitor. But anyway, he seems in good spirits. They have got the results back for his ultrasound for his carotid artery. They're clear, all clear. So that's really, really good news, very encouraging news. But because Dad's also got an irregular heartbeat, according to the doctor, that can sometimes cause small clots, which is possibly what's caused this TIA this time. So they want to monitor his heart, his irregular heartbeat and his heart over the next couple of days. So best case scenario, they may let him go on Friday. Worst case scenario, probably Monday. And that's what I'm kind of working on really, if I'm honest. I don't think he'll be home on Friday. It will be Monday. So very good news, very happy, or as happy as I can be. But before I go, I do want to say a huge thank you to everybody from all over the world who have sent messages of love, prayers and messages of support regarding Dad. It really does, I really do appreciate it, and so does Dad, because I've sat and I've read all the messages out to him, so he's really touched by everybody's love and support, so thank you. So with that, and it's Wednesday, I will draw this week's vlog to a close. So I will see you all again, hopefully next week, with even better news. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.